If I had a kid with ADHD, how would I raise them? I would use the concept I've mentioned multiple times, the ADHD wheel. Now the question is, how do we build this wheel? And the answer is very simple. You have to try everything. If I had a child with ADHD, I would fill my entire house with instruments, books, physics equations, chessboards. I would be putting them in every activity that they thought was interesting, and we just see what fits for them. Now a lot of people have their own idea of discipline. In your brain, discipline and commitment is actually extremely important. But for the ADHD brain, it works a little differently. You have to remember, their brain is biologically different. You cannot treat them the same. So how would I deal with instilling discipline within my child? Now, in a traditional sense, instilling discipline in a child without ADHD will look something like maybe making them commit to swimming, forcing them to go to their swimming practices whenever they don't want to, no matter the circumstances. You made a commitment, you must follow through. Now, this is actually very beneficial for a child without ADHD, but with ADHD, it cannot work this way. Now, instead of instilling discipline within those specific hobbies and interests, you are instead going to instill discipline on their structure, the ADHD wheel. You push a little bit on those specific hobbies and interests, but you don't force it. Otherwise, you are actively working against the way their ADHD brain is wired. Instead, what I would do is say, for example, they're very interested in chess. They're hyper-fixating on getting better, learning new strategies, going to competitions, and then randomly, it just falls off. I would push it a little bit. I would say, look, are you sure? I would keep putting it in front of them. But as a little bit of time goes by, you have to realize that it's no longer within their interests. The wheel has moved. You have to move with it. What that would look like is taking the chessboard off their desk and maybe putting something else in front of them. And you're not taking that chessboard and throwing it in the trash. You're taking it and putting it in their peripheral vision. So it's still there if they ever want to go back. Teaching your child with ADHD to function this way will change their lives forever. Can you imagine if you as a child with ADHD had something like this? Your parents were extremely educated, teaching you how your brain worked and working with you instead of against you. Not making you feel guilty because you didn't work the same way other children did. And now, once you've refined your wheel as the years have gone by with things that are actually important to you, you work on building up your foundation, pushing you closer to your goals. So instead of a lot of us discovering something like this in our 20s, we would have discovered it when we were a child. Being prepared to take on the world when we transfer to adulthood. Understanding our brains and the way we work and what environments we thrive in, and how to actually create those environments ourselves, not just trying to barely squeeze into society. If a child with ADHD had this structure where their parents were controlling their environment and were educated on ADHD, I don't think it's an exaggeration to say a child like that would change the world. Instead of being a jack of all trades and a master of none, you are a master of all. Because you spent so much time building this structure, learning more about yourself. This is the way ADHD needs to be treated, with medication being used as a tool to cater to this lifestyle, helping you adhere to the wheel. We don't care just about making you feel good. We want you to be productive members of society. You just feeling good because your brain is finally quiet and you're able to move around does not make you productive. You just taking medication with no lifestyle changes and no structure is a band-aid. You feel like this is the solution just because it's better than where you were previously. That is not optimal treatment. Medication and lifestyle changes work together. I am going to change psychiatry forever. Watch me.